Preliminary for Schools Trainer by Sue Elliott and Liz Gallivan. Published by Cambridge University Press, 2011. This recording is copyright. CD 1.
Test 1. Writing Part 1. Exercise 1A.
Tom was at home one Saturday when the phone rang. It was his friend Harry. Harry asked if he wanted to go to the cinema to see a new film. Tom said he did, and suggested meeting outside the cinema. Tom asked his mum if she could drive him into town. She said she couldn't because she was a bit busy. So Tom told his mum not to worry.
Test 1. Writing Part 1. Exercise 1B.
1. Tom said,
"Why don't we meet outside the cinema?"
2. Tom said,
"Mum, can you drive me into town?"
3. She said,
I can't, because I'm a bit busy.
4. Tom said,
"Don't worry, Mum."
Test 1. Writing Part 3. Exercise 6.
Cara and her dad were at home one evening. Cara's dad was cooking, and Cara was watching TV. Suddenly, she heard someone at the door, so she went downstairs. Her grandmother had come to visit and was in the kitchen with her dad. Then Cara saw a small parcel which was lying on the kitchen table with Cara's name on it. Her grandmother had brought it for her. She opened the parcel. Inside was the most beautiful ring she had ever seen. Her grandmother had bought it for Cara's birthday.
Test 1. Listening Part 1. Exercise 3.
Is this a picture of you, Cassie?
She looks like me, doesn't she? It's actually my older sister. She's got the same colour hair as me, blonde, although it used to be quite dark. And it's curly, not straight like mine.
I'm sure if you wore glasses like she does, you'd both look exactly the same.
That's what my mum says.
Test 1. Listening Part 1. Exercise 5.
How's the training going, Leo?
Oh, fine. I'm preparing for the 15-kilometre run. It's quite a long way, so I'm trying to get a bit stronger. I've always done a lot of cycling, but my dad says swimming's better, so I'm going to do what he suggests.
Your dad's good at running, isn't he?
Actually, he's better at cycling, and he's got great ideas about training for races.
Test 1. Listening Part 1. Exercise 7.
My house is very nice. It's got 4 windows at the front, although one's a bit unusual as it's round. It looks nice though. And most people have a door at the front of their house, don't they? Well, ours is at the side, so you can't see it. The trees are nice though, especially in summer.
Test 1. Listening Part 1. Exercise 9.
I can't decide what to wear for the party. My mum bought me a black t-shirt with big flowers on. It's really nice. It's got short sleeves though, and it's winter. So maybe I should wear my long-sleeved one instead. That's got flowers too, although I don't like it as much as the one with the star on. I know. I'll wear the one my mum bought and take my coat. After all, it is my favourite.
Test 1. Listening Part 1. Exercise 11.
What have you got for lunch today, Maria? That looks healthy, all that fruit.
Yeah, I love bananas, but I usually have those every day, so I've brought apples instead for a change. I wish my mum had remembered to put my sandwiches in, though. Now I've only got cake.
Don't worry, you can share my sandwiches. I've got loads, and at least you've got something to drink.
I suppose.
Test 1. Listening Part 1. Exam practice. Example. What will the boy have for dinner?
What's for dinner, Mum? Are we having pizza?
We had that yesterday, so I thought I'd make chicken and rice tonight. Or fish, if you prefer.
That sounds good. I had chicken at school today in my sandwiches, so I don't really want it again.
OK.
1. Which concert did they go to?
The concert was great, wasn't it? At least the weather stayed fine.
We didn't need our umbrellas after all. I didn't expect such a great light show, though.
That was a surprise, yeah. I was hoping there'd be some big TV screens at the side of the stage, though. You can watch the concert on those if you're at the back, like we were. We couldn't see very well, could we?
That's true.
Now listen again.
The concert was great, wasn't it? At least the weather stayed fine.
We didn't need our umbrellas after all. I didn't expect such a great light show, though.
That was a surprise, yeah. I was hoping there'd be some big TV screens at the side of the stage, though. You can watch the concert on those if you're at the back, like we were. We couldn't see very well, could we?
That's true.
2. Which photo will the boy send in to the competition?
I know you've taken some great photos, Sam. Can I see them? Wow, this one of the dolphins fantastic.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that one. The tigers come out really well too. The colours look good. This one of the birds, the one that's going into the art competition though. I think it's so unusual that it might win.
Are you sure? It's certainly unusual, but I thought the one I saw first was much better.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's perfect for the competition.
Now listen again.
I know you've taken some great photos, Sam. Can I see them? Wow, this one of the dolphins fantastic.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that one. The tigers come out really well too. The colours look good. This one of the birds, the one that's going into the art competition though. I think it's so unusual that it might win.
Are you sure? It's certainly unusual, but I thought the one I saw first was much better.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's perfect for the competition.
3. Which way will the boy cycle home?
Hi, Mum, it's Adam. Just ringing to say I'm going to be a bit late home. The cycle path past the station is closed for repairs, so I'll have to go the other way instead. You know, the road that goes over the bridge. It's a lot further though, so could you meet me in the car in the usual place? We could put the bike in the back and drive home through the park. It'll be quicker than through the traffic. Thanks, Mum.
Now listen again.
Hi, Mum, it's Adam. Just ringing to say I'm going to be a bit late home. The cycle path past the station is closed for repairs, so I'll have to go the other way instead. You know, the road that goes over the bridge. It's a lot further though, so could you meet me in the car in the usual place? We could put the bike in the back and drive home through the park. It'll be quicker than through the traffic. Thanks, Mum.
4. What does the boy's new football shirt look like?
Hi, Dan. I've just been to collect our new football shirts from school. I don't know if I like them as much as last season's. We had white ones then, remember? And the black band around it made it easy to see us on the field, didn't it? But this year, they're just plain, no band. Same colour anyway, although the collar's changed to black. See what you think. It's a bit late to change them now, I guess.
Now listen again.
Hi, Dan. I've just been to collect our new football shirts from school. I don't know if I like them as much as last season's. We had white ones then, remember? And the black band around it made it easy to see us on the field, didn't it? But this year, they're just plain, no band. Same colour anyway, although the collar's changed to black. See what you think. It's a bit late to change them now, I guess.
5. Where did the boy's teacher put his drawing?
How was your art class today, Marcus? Did you finish your picture of the racing car?
Yeah, Mum. My teacher was really pleased with it. I was hoping she'd put it in the main corridor. That's where she puts all the pictures she likes best. It ended up on the classroom wall instead, though.
Well, she obviously thought it was good if she put it there.
I think tomorrow I'll ask the teacher if I can put it on the computer and send it to my cousins.
Oh, good idea.
Now listen again.
How was your art class today, Marcus? Did you finish your picture of the racing car?
Yeah, Mum. My teacher was really pleased with it. I was hoping she'd put it in the main corridor. That's where she puts all the pictures she likes best. It ended up on the classroom wall instead, though.
Well, she obviously thought it was good if she put it there.
I think tomorrow I'll ask the teacher if I can put it on the computer and send it to my cousins.
Oh, good idea.
6. Where did the friends arrange to meet?
Hi, Jamie. Have you forgotten we're meeting today? I've been standing outside the cinema for ages waiting for you.
What? Don't you remember, Jane? You said you needed to go to the shopping centre, so we decided we'd meet there. That's where I am now. I was wondering where you were.
Oh, no. Well, I won't have time to get all the way there. I have to go home quite soon, so I think I'd better just walk down to the bus station instead.
Sorry, Jane. Let's meet up tomorrow instead.
Now listen again.
Hi, Jamie. Have you forgotten we're meeting today? I've been standing outside the cinema for ages waiting for you.
What? Don't you remember, Jane? You said you needed to go to the shopping centre, so we decided we'd meet there. That's where I am now. I was wondering where you were.
Oh, no. Well, I won't have time to get all the way there. I have to go home quite soon, so I think I'd better just walk down to the bus station instead.
Sorry, Jane. Let's meet up tomorrow instead.
7. What will the girl take on the school trip?
Hi, Sam. You weren't at school today, so I'm just ringing about the trip tomorrow. The teacher says we're stopping at a cafe for lunch, so don't worry about food. But she wants as many people as possible to take a camera if they've got one. I can take pictures with my mobile, though, so we'll just use that, shall we? I'd hate to lose my camera somewhere on the trip. See you tomorrow anyway.
Now listen again.
Hi, Sam. You weren't at school today, so I'm just ringing about the trip tomorrow. The teacher says we're stopping at a cafe for lunch, so don't worry about food. But she wants as many people as possible to take a camera if they've got one. I can take pictures with my mobile, though, so we'll just use that, shall we? I'd hate to lose my camera somewhere on the trip. See you tomorrow anyway.
Test 1. Listening Part 2. Exercise 2.
I'd always been keen on music, even before I started school. My mum says I used to dance around the room whenever music was playing. So as soon as I went to school, she got me some music lessons. Piano, first of all, although I didn't have a great talent for it. Then later, I met a really good music teacher at secondary school who introduced me to the guitar, and I knew immediately it was the right instrument for me. I've never regretted stopping piano lessons, although it wasn't until I got to college that I realised how much I'd already learned.
Test 1. Listening Part 2. Exercise 4.
Although I wasn't great at playing football, the teacher was desperate for new members, so he wanted me to join. My friends were already members, so I was pleased. But then I discovered I'd have to go to extra football practice before school. And if I wanted to do that, I'd have to get up really early, so I wasn't keen. But my teacher said that unless I went, I couldn't join the team. So I just had to get up early and go. In fact, I enjoyed it once I got there because it was more relaxed than my normal games classes.
Test 1. Listening Part 2. Exam practice.
Today I'm talking to Amy Monero, who's played the piano for 12 years, but is still only 16. Amy, how did you start?
Well, my father's a musician. He taught me some basic tunes when I was only 4. Then, after a couple of years, my parents paid for me to have after-school piano classes. I played classical music with my piano teacher every week until I began secondary school. I gave up extra lessons then, even though my school music teacher, Mrs. Jones, said I needed more practice. But I was already getting a lot of help from her by then.
So, what was your first big performance like?
Well, by the time I performed at my first big event, I'd already been in lots of small competitions, so playing on stage was nothing new, although I had no idea so many people would come to watch us that evening. That was amazing. My mother had bought me a wonderful dress, and normally I'd love that. But that evening I was so busy I hardly noticed.
And then you started jazz piano. Did you enjoy playing jazz?
Well, my school was starting a jazz band, so I joined. They were all good players, though, and I had no idea what jazz even was then, and I couldn't understand the music at first, so I got quite annoyed with it. But after a while, I began to love it. So for a year, I studied all I could on jazz.
And you give music lessons now, don't you?
Yes, basic piano. I'm keen that as many young people as possible become interested in music. I charge a low fee as I'm not a qualified teacher, but lessons are not too expensive in my town anyway. I pass people on to experienced teachers when they're ready, or introduce them to other instruments if the piano's not for them. Teaching helps my playing too, although that's not the reason I do it.
And you also write a blog on the internet.
Yeah, it's like a diary. I write a bit every day for people to read, about school and so on. I love writing, even more than music, so it's great to do it. I write about my favourite musicians, especially one who's also a journalist. And I talk about music shows I attend. If they're good, I advertise them.
So, what is it about music that you love?
Well, I've never met anyone who hates it. Everyone finds something they like. But it communicates to everyone, whether they speak English or not. And music can sound just as great played by an older musician as it can by a younger person like me.
Amy, thanks very much.
Test 1. Listening Part 3. Exercise 3.
We've got a long journey ahead of us tomorrow, so we're leaving the camp early. I suggested 7 or 7:30, but the group leader has said 5:15. The van we were planning to go in has developed engine problems, so we're off in a minibus. Much more comfortable. Everyone's packed all the usual things like clothes and water, but I've also put in lots of music. It's a long journey and we'll need something to listen to. It's quite cool here during the night, but on the way the temperatures will rise, so I'm prepared for hot weather. It hasn't rained here for days, so it's unlikely to be wet. I'm hoping we'll see lots of animals on the way, like monkeys, but I'm told they always run away when vehicles approach. But I know there are wonderful birds living in this area, so there's a chance we'll see them. We'll need a break along the way, so we'll relax for a while by the river. We'll be following that for part of our journey to the lake, where we'll stay the night.
Test 1. Listening Part 3. Exam practice.
Hello everyone, my name's Adam and I want to tell you about a trip I did with my family in a hot air balloon. A huge balloon filled with hot air, with a basket underneath. Amazing! We set off early in the morning, near my home. It was a couple of hours after sunrise when we left. We were up in the balloon for an hour, although because of the training with our pilot, Ben, before we took off, the whole experience took 3 hours in all. The view was amazing. I was able to see right across our town, and all the way to the mountains. There were some huge birds flying around, and because the balloon was so silent, they weren't afraid. We also flew over some great sights in our area, like the castle, which I go to a lot, and the river. And I didn't realise that a bridge we flew over was the one I crossed to school every day. It looked really different. Everyone had said I should wear thick clothes for the flight, as it would be cold in the basket. But in fact, it felt warm, partly because of the hot air inside the balloon. The only problem was that it got a bit uncomfortable in the basket. There were only 6 of us, so it wasn't crowded, but there was nowhere to sit, so we had to stand all the way. I really wanted a few cushions. Soon it was time to come down again. Balloons often land somewhere like a farm or a park, but Ben had arranged for us to come down on a golf course. There was a crowd watching when we got to the ground. It was all fantastic anyway, and I really want to go again soon.
Test 1. Listening Part 4. Exercise 4.
Hi Alice. I hope you watched the film I told you about on TV last night.
Well, I'm not sure we like the same kind of films, do we, Max? So I don't always watch what you recommend. But I did see the one you mentioned.
So, what did you think of it? To be honest, I expected it to be funnier than that.
Oh, it made me laugh in places, but not as much as I'd thought.
Test 1. Listening Part 4. Exercise 5.
Well, I'm just off to the DVD store. Why don't you come? We could have a look for a film you'll really like. They have a huge range, so it shouldn't be difficult.
Another day maybe. I've got lots of homework to finish.
OK. Well, I'd better hurry. I hope I'm not too late to catch the DVD store before it shuts. I'll see you later.
Test 1. Listening Part 4. Exam practice.
Hi, Mandy.
Hello, Jack. I'm surprised to see you in town, with the big sports event on at the moment. I thought you'd be at home watching every minute of it on TV, like you normally do.
Oh, what's on this afternoon doesn't interest me much. I'm saving my energy for the ski jumping that's on tonight. Come round to my house and join me if you want. I've got plenty of juice and popcorn ready.
That sounds great. And I do like ski jumping. But I'm hoping to watch a DVD at home with some friends, though.
Oh,
Anyway, to be honest, I'm a bit tired of all the sport on TV at the moment. My favourite music programme was even cancelled yesterday. I mean, not everyone wants to watch all day long, do they?
well, there have been some great moments, but even sports fans need a change sometimes. I guess if I wasn't so into sport, I wouldn't be very happy either.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, people say that having a lot of sport on TV gets people our age to try sports they wouldn't normally think of doing. But it doesn't seem to have had much effect on my friends.
And even you don't do as much as you used to, do you? You really ought to get back into the habit.
I don't know what you mean. I go running every day. Well, maybe just at the weekends now. I've got so much schoolwork to do.
Well, I can understand that. I've got the same problem.
I know. But how about coming to join the supporters when I next play football, the end of the month?
I'm pretty busy.
It's just a Saturday morning.
Well, how can I miss that?
You can't.
Test 1. Speaking Part 1. Exercise 4.
Do you enjoy learning English? Tell us about your school. What did you do yesterday evening? What do you enjoy doing in your free time? Do you think English will be useful to you in the future?
Test 1. Speaking Part 2. Exercise 1.
So, which one do you think is a good idea for the school trip, Sophie? How about the zoo? A lot of people would really enjoy that, including me.
I'm not sure we should go there. Some people don't like to see wild animals in a zoo. I think we should go to the concert instead. The whole class likes listening to music.
That's a good idea, but we all like different kinds of music. And I don't think anyone will choose the museum, do you? We've been there before.
So that just leaves the beach. Why don't we go there?
That's a great idea. Everyone will enjoy that.
Test 1. Speaking Part 2. Exam practice.
So, what do you think we should take with us on our cycling trip?
Let's see the picture. So, there's some drink. I think we should definitely take that. We're going to get thirsty.
Yes, you're right. But I'm not sure about the sunglasses. What do you think?
Well, we don't know what the weather will be like, do we? There's an MP3 player too. I don't think that's a good idea. It might be dangerous. We won't be able to hear cars coming.
No. So, how about taking some snacks? We'll need those.
Definitely. We'll be hungry. There's a slice of pizza too. That won't be easy to carry.
No. Or the coat. It'll be heavy. But it could be useful if it rains.
OK, so the last thing is some swimming stuff. What do you think about that?
It depends. Perhaps we won't find anywhere to swim.
You're right. So maybe just the drink and snacks then?
Yes. Shall we choose those? And we might take the coat if there's room in our backpacks.
Agreed.
Test 1. Speaking Part 3. Exercise 3.
This is the picture of a family having a picnic, maybe at lunchtime. You can see they're out in the countryside somewhere, or in a park, because they're on the grass and there are trees behind them. Or they might be outside in their own garden. It's a fine sunny day, although there are some clouds in the sky. They're all sitting around a tablecloth on the ground, and they've got some food on it. Some fruit, bread, and drinks. The mom is sitting on the right of the picture, and the dad is sitting next to her. There's a girl and boy sitting on the other side. The boy is on the end, and the girl is between her brother and her dad. She's opening a picnic basket with everything in it. She looks very happy. The father is passing some food to them, and the boy is reaching to get something to eat. They look as if they're having a really good time.
Test 1. Speaking Part 3. Exam practice. Photo A.
This is the picture of a girl's birthday party. On the right of the picture, there's one girl sitting on a table, holding a present with a big ribbon on it. She's wearing a summer dress and shoes, and she's got a scarf on her head. She looks happy. There's some food and drink on the table too. On the left of the picture, there's a group of children. They're probably her guests. They're wearing summer shirts and dresses, and they're all holding presents. I guess they're going to give them to the girl. In the background, I can see colourful paper decorations and some trees behind. They're probably in the garden at the girl's house. It's a sunny day, and I think it's summer. They're having a good time.
Photo B.
This is a picture of some teenagers sitting at a table inside a cafe. On the right, there's a girl with long hair. She's smiling and she looks happy. On the left, I can just see a boy with a green top, and sitting between them, in the middle, there's a young boy wearing a blue t-shirt. They all look happy to be together. They've got plates with pizza on them and drinks with straws. They've just shared a whole pizza between them, I think. Behind them, I can see the back of someone else sitting at another table in the cafe. A girl. She's on her own. It looks like a sunny day outside.
Test 1. Speaking Part 4. Exercise 1.
Well, let me tell you about my family and what we eat. We eat outside a lot in summer. We have picnics by the river. My father cooks great steaks because he loves meat. He cooks them outside on the barbecue when the weather's warm. I think he's really good at making desserts too. Oh, and his cheesecake is the best I've ever tasted. How about you? Do you often go for picnics?
Well, we prefer eating at home, and we eat outside in our garden a lot. We always have lots of different dishes because my father's American and my mother's Italian. So she makes pasta with fantastic sauces and also wonderful salads. I love the food they cook, and my parents really enjoy doing it because it's a change from work. But we often go to pizza restaurants because they're my favorite. Have you ever been to a restaurant with your family?
Test 1. Speaking Part 4. Exercise 2.
It's great to go out for a meal with your family or friends.
I agree. We often eat out with our relatives.
So, have you ever been to a restaurant with your family?
Yes, lots of times. And I love pizza restaurants.
So do I.
But I don't like burger bars or cafes much.
Neither do I. Anyway, there aren't many cafes where we live, are there?
No, but there's a good one in the town centre that serves great milkshakes. Oh, and cake and ice cream and things.
Really? I must go there sometime. I love ice cream.
Do you? I don't.
Test 1. Speaking Part 4. Exam practice.
1. Do you usually meet up with large or small groups of friends? Which do you prefer? Why? 2. Do you prefer to meet friends in someone's home or somewhere in town? Why? 3. How do you normally celebrate your birthday? 4. What's the best present you've ever received from a friend? 5. Is there a youth club in your town? Do you go to it? What kind of activities should a youth club have?
Test 2. Reading Part 3. Exercise 3.
My favourite water sport is windsurfing. I wasn't good at first, but I've discovered that if you go regularly, you can improve quite quickly. If I had the opportunity, I'd probably try sailing. My dad can't sail, but he's promised that if he has time during the summer, he'll take me scuba diving. How cool is that? The problem is the weather, though. If it's bad, we probably won't go. I wish I lived somewhere with better weather. If I did, I'd go in the sea every day. But if it's a cold day where I live, you don't do water sports. Even if it's sunny, the wind is often freezing.
Test 2. Reading Part 5. Exercise 2.
My mum and I had to get up at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning so that we could set off early for the town centre. My gran stayed at home and looked after my baby brother. He hates shopping. When we got to town, we looked around one of the big department stores. I tried on a pair of shoes, but quickly took them off again. They were far too small. Anyway, they didn't go with anything I was wearing. After a bit more shopping, we went home. I was pleased to get back, but Mum says she's going again tomorrow to take back a sweater she bought.
Test 2. Writing Part 1. Exercise 1.
So, what did you think, Tom? Racers was a good film, wasn't it? What about getting a CD of the music?
Well, to be honest, I preferred the music in Spaceship.
You're right. The instruments were fantastic, weren't they? The acting in Spaceship wasn't as good as in Racers, though.
No, that's true. And what about the costumes? They were really colourful in Racers.
Yeah. Not in Spaceship, though. They all wore grey. Quite disappointing. But the special effects in that film were amazing.
There were hardly any special effects in Racers. It had great action scenes, though.
Yeah. Spaceship wasn't quite as exciting, was it? I think Racers was the best film we've seen this week.
I agree.
Test 2. Writing Part 2. Exercise 2.
Well, we've had some great school trips this year, haven't we?
You're right. Remember the trip to the museum? That was great. I've never seen so many paintings in my life.
And we went to a great place at the start of term too. The weather forecasting station.
Yes, we learned a lot that day. That was a while ago. But we still haven't visited the sports centre. I hope we do.
We haven't been to the Botanic Gardens yet either.
Oh, I've already been there. My father took me last year.
Test 2. Listening Part 1. Exercise 1.
The teacher, Mr. Lyons, said my classmates and I had to do more homework if we wanted to succeed in his class, so he gave us some really tough exercises. They were so difficult that even my big sister Gail, who's very clever, couldn't do them. But in the end, Mr. Lyons showed us how to do them, and we all got high marks. Mr. Lyons was very happy with us.
Test 2. Listening Part 1. Exercise 4A.
Hi, Mum. I'm just at Dan's house, and we're going to watch a few things on TV before I come home. There are 2 great wildlife programmes on at 6, and you know I love those. But they're on at the same time as a science fiction film Dan wants to see, so we'll probably end up watching that. Anyway, could you pick me up after you've watched the news? I don't want you to miss it. I know it's your favourite.
Test 2. Listening Part 1. Exam practice. Example. What did the boy forget to bring home from school?
Let me have all your gym clothes out of your sports bag. They need to be washed.
Yeah, Mum. I'm just finishing this worksheet. Mr. Mason's maths homework's really difficult. I can't remember how to do it. And now my pen's run out of ink.
Here, have this pen. Now, where's your bag?
I'm afraid I left it at school, Mum. I'll bring it home tomorrow, I promise.
1. How did the boy get to the cinema?
John! At last! I thought you weren't coming. What happened? The film started 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I had problems getting here. The bus I'd wanted to come on broke down just outside town, so I had to run back home again to ask my dad to bring me in his car.
So, why have you got your bike with you?
Well, Dad had left for work, so this was the only other possibility, unfortunately. I'd better look for somewhere to park it.
Now listen again.
John! At last! I thought you weren't coming. What happened? The film started 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I had problems getting here. The bus I'd wanted to come on broke down just outside town, so I had to run back home again to ask my dad to bring me in his car.
So, why have you got your bike with you?
Well, Dad had left for work, so this was the only other possibility, unfortunately. I'd better look for somewhere to park it.
2. What did the girl see on her holiday?
So, how was your adventure holiday? It sounded cool.
It was. We did loads of hill climbing, and our instructor said there'd be lots of rabbits up there. I think they heard us coming, though, and went off to hide.
Well, you've got a great photo of a frog on your wall. You did well to get that.
Oh, I took that in our garden last year. But I did manage to get a picture of a beautiful butterfly up there.
Wow, you could enter that in a competition.
Now listen again.
So, how was your adventure holiday? It sounded cool.
It was. We did loads of hill climbing and our instructor said there'd be lots of rabbits up there. I think they heard us coming though and went off to hide.
Well, you've got a great photo of a frog on your wall. You did well to get that.
Oh, I took that in our garden last year. But I did manage to get a picture of a beautiful butterfly up there.
Wow, you could enter that in a competition.
3. Which instrument will the girl play in the concert?
Hi, Mum. I'm just ringing to let you know I've got a part in the school concert. I'm going to be playing in the school orchestra. I was hoping Mrs. Jordan, my music teacher, would let me play the guitar, as I've had so many lessons. One of the violin players is off sick, though, so she wants me to play instead. So that's good, isn't it? And she'll accompany us on the piano, so that'll make it all a lot easier. I won't be so nervous now.
Now listen again.
Hi, Mum. I'm just ringing to let you know I've got a part in the school concert. I'm going to be playing in the school orchestra. I was hoping Mrs. Jordan, my music teacher, would let me play the guitar, as I've had so many lessons. One of the violin players is off sick, though, so she wants me to play instead. So that's good, isn't it? And she'll accompany us on the piano, so that'll make it all a lot easier. I won't be so nervous now.
4. What does the boy want to cook for tonight's meal?
What are you doing tonight, Mark? We're all off to the cafe later to have some pizza. Want to come?
You know I love pizza. It's my mum's birthday today, though, so I promised I'd make dinner for her and Dad. Chicken and rice is her favourite, but...
So is that what she's getting? Doesn't sound very exciting.
Oh no, I'm doing pasta. It's the only thing I can cook. I'll add lots of cheese and peppers to make it more interesting, but I'm useless at cooking meat.
Okay.
Now listen again.
What are you doing tonight, Mark? We're all off to the cafe later to have some pizza. Want to come?
You know I love pizza. It's my mum's birthday today, though, so I promised I'd make dinner for her and Dad. Chicken and rice is her favourite, but...
So is that what she's getting? Doesn't sound very exciting.
Oh no, I'm doing pasta. It's the only thing I can cook. I'll add lots of cheese and peppers to make it more interesting, but I'm useless at cooking meat.
Okay.
5. Where will they meet?
So, I'll see you tomorrow. Outside the library, yeah?
Oh, hang on, Matt. You know I haven't lived in this town long. So, which building's the library? It must be that one in the town square with the big door.
It's in the square. There are big trees in front of it. The door's at the side, though, so you can't see it.
No, I'll find it. I'll ask someone when I get to the place with the flower garden in front.
Oh, the town hall, yes.
Now listen again.
So, I'll see you tomorrow. Outside the library, yeah?
Oh, hang on, Matt. You know I haven't lived in this town long. So, which building's the library? It must be that one in the town square with the big door.
It's in the square. There are big trees in front of it. The door's at the side, though, so you can't see it.
No, I'll find it. I'll ask someone when I get to the place with the flower garden in front.
Oh, the town hall, yes.
6. What will the boy buy?
Hi, Dad. I'm just in town, so I was thinking I might take my birthday money down to the sports shop and have a look. I know they've just got some new skateboards in, although I'll probably have to save up a bit more before I get one of those. I still really need some boots for baseball, though, so it'll be better to spend my money on those. And at least I don't need to buy a football now, after the one you bought me. Thanks, Dad.
Now listen again.
Hi, Dad. I'm just in town, so I was thinking I might take my birthday money down to the sports shop and have a look. I know they've just got some new skateboards in, although I'll probably have to save up a bit more before I get one of those. I still really need some boots for baseball, though, so it'll be better to spend my money on those. And at least I don't need to buy a football now, after the one you bought me. Thanks, Dad.
7. Where is the girl's older brother at the moment?
Hi, Holly. I saw your brother at the station yesterday. Isn't he usually at work at the supermarket during the week?
Normally he'd be there. He goes every day. But he's on holiday this week. He was probably just setting off when you saw him.
Yeah, I remember he had bags with him, and some skis too.
Oh, that'd be for his holiday. He'll be on the slopes today.
Wow, I wish I was.
Now listen again.
Hi, Holly. I saw your brother at the station yesterday. Isn't he usually at work at the supermarket during the week?
Normally he'd be there. He goes every day. But he's on holiday this week. He was probably just setting off when you saw him.
Yeah, I remember he had bags with him, and some skis too.
Oh, that'd be for his holiday. He'll be on the slopes today.
Wow, I wish I was.
Test 2. Listening Part 2. Exercise 3.
I normally get up at around 9 during the holidays, but tomorrow I'm going to get up at 8 because I'm meeting my friend Jenna in town. We arranged it last week. We'll probably go to the cinema or something. I need to go to the library too, but I'll do that next week, I think. My mum says it'll be sunny all day tomorrow, but I'm not sure. Jenna and I are both taking our umbrellas in case it rains. And when I get home, I'm going to lie in the garden and look at a magazine if it's a nice day, as Mum is having tea at her friend's house in the afternoon.
Test 2. Listening Part 2. Exam practice.
I'm with Maria Shaw, who went with her school on an outdoor adventure trip. Maria, had you done many trips like that before?
Hardly any. I'd only been on holiday with my friend and her parents when we stayed in a tent. But I was travelling miles to my school every day on my bike, so I thought at least I'd be fit enough. I never imagined the trip would involve walking so far in one day, though. Exhausting.
So, what was your first day like?
Absolutely freezing. The first morning, we got up early, then went down to the lake in the snow with our instructor. She said we'd got to sail across the lake, climb up some rocks, then sail back again, all before it got dark. I knew roughly how to make a boat go in a straight line, but I was afraid I'd never finish all the tasks by the end of the day.
And was the hardest part the rock climbing?
It was difficult and took ages. But we didn't slip much, even though there was still snow around. And luckily no one fell and injured themselves, as we were far from our hostel. In places, the rocks rose up really steeply though, so it took us time to get up them.
So, what was it like at the top?
Amazing. The view was great. After the climb, we needed food, so we had some fruit and a drink. Then our instructor told us about all the changes in the area due to changes in the climate and what we could do to help prevent damage there. Unfortunately, we'd all had to leave our mobiles back at the hostel, so we couldn't take any photos.
So, was there a change in you all by the end?
Well, yes. When we first arrived, most of the girls just wanted to turn round and go straight home again. Some were quite homesick. But by the last day, we were all enjoying it, and we seemed to be helping each other much more to do things. I even offered to cook dinner when I got home, much to my mum's amazement.
So, will you go on another outdoor adventure trip?
Oh, I'm planning another, but next time I'll have my family with me. They'd probably prefer somewhere warmer, by the beach, but we're going back to the same place again. In fact, I've already been on another similar trip to Alaska, where it was much wilder and colder, but I learned a lot.
Thanks, Maria.
Test 2. Listening Part 3. Exercise 1.
1.
The 23rd of April.
2.
1,260.
3.
13 kilometres.
4.
J, A, Y, B, U, R, Y.
5.
1967.
6.
Second.
7.
The 30th of July.
8.
F, E, B, R, U, A, R, Y.
9.
www.redflight.com.
Test 2. Listening Part 3. Exercise 2.
1.
The 14th of December.
2.
2015.
3.
31 kilometres.
4.
www.telltv.com.
5.
2.5 hours.
6.
7:15.
7.
Mr. Coldwell. That's COLDWELL.
8.
783-4462.
Test 2. Listening Part 3. Exam practice.
Hi, my name's Josh, and I want to tell you about a brilliant trip I did recently. It was to the Weather Forecasting Centre in our city. I'd wanted to go there for ages, as I'm really interested in weather. My after-school club had tried to organise a trip, but not enough people wanted to go, so I suggested it to my youth club, and they agreed to take us. When we arrived at the centre, we were given drinks, and then a guide told us about the history of the place. He said it was set up in 1854, but it wasn't until 1859 that they started telling people about very strong winds coming. These were really important for people working outdoors and for transport, When communications improved, the centre sent its weather forecasts to ships, but later the forecasts also went into newspapers, where everyone could read them. Our guide also told us that information for forecasts used to come from weather stations on the coast, where forecasters could actually see bad weather coming. But now they get a lot of information from space. This information is put into what they call their supercomputers, and then these produce the forecasts. It's really clever. Of course, we all want to know what the weather will be like. If we're going to the seaside, we want to know how much sunshine we'll get. But one thing many people need to know is how much rain there'll be. That affects everyone, but especially farmers or sports people. And in our city, it's really important for the zoo. They need to know what the temperature will be because of their animals. It was a fun day, and I'd like to work at the centre when I'm older.
Test 2. Listening Part 4. Exercise 2A.
We're all going away to the seaside next week. Mum says you can go surfing there, and I wouldn't mind giving that a try. But I'd be more excited about it if my older brother Jack wasn't coming too. He's having the biggest room where we're staying, which I think isn't fair. Still, I guess at least he'll play football with me. That's always fun. And he's offered to pay for me to go windsurfing. That sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Test 2. Listening Part 4. Exam practice.
Hi, Harry. What's that book you're reading? Heroes?
Hi, Anna. Yes, it's about the kind of people that teenagers like us think of as heroes. I mean, lots of people think a hero nowadays has to be someone like in films, like Superman, always running around rescuing people. But I think there are plenty of ordinary people going around doing great things, and they're nothing like Superman.
I guess so. Although it's not always doing brave things that makes people heroes. Sometimes it's about what they encourage you to do, isn't it? Those people can be heroes too.
That's a bit like my granddad then. He's done all sorts of things to help other people since he sold his business and gave up work. And he's taken me to lots of interesting places I wouldn't see without him. He's definitely my hero. But those heroes never get to be famous, do they? It's not fair.
That's true. He sounds like one of those quiet heroes you get in storybooks.
Yeah, he is. And a storybook's one place where you do need proper heroes. Without one, a storybook's really dull.
I'm with you there. I read loads of them, and I definitely wouldn't get to the end if they didn't have heroes in them.
I'll lend you some of my books. I've got lots.
Okay, but great writers can really help you to love reading too, can't they? So for me, they're heroes. I mean, I wasn't keen on reading until I found my favourite. Still, it's unusual to find writers that can do that. For me, anyway.
And what about sportsmen, rock stars, people like that? They're the kind of heroes that teenagers like us are supposed to admire. I wouldn't think of them as someone to copy, though, would you?
They're probably the last people I'd think of.
Test 2. Speaking Part 1. Exercise 3.
What's your surname?
My surname's Godsuwan.
How do you spell it?
It's Jodsuwan.
Where do you live?
I live in the centre of town, by North Park.
Do you study English at school?
Yes, I do, and I really enjoy it, although I'm not very good at it.
How long have you studied English?
Well, I've lived in England for about 5 years, but I've had lessons for about 3 years.
What do you enjoy doing at school?
Well, I like seeing my friends every day, and I like the lunch here. I really enjoy my art lessons too. They're fun. I get to use the computer a lot.
Tell me about your home.
Well, my family and I live in a big flat on the ground floor. As I said, it's in the town centre, so it's a bit noisy. Oh, but we're lucky because we've got a garden at the back. I live there with my mom and 2 sisters.
What did you do last weekend?
Let's see. On Saturday, I went out with my friends. We went to the cinema and then did some shopping. Then on Sunday, my grandparents came and we had a big family lunch at home.
Thank you.
Test 2. Speaking Part 2. Exercise 2.
Hi, Jasmine. So, let's talk about how we can let people know about our school concert.
Okay, what do you think about putting up posters? That's a good idea, isn't it?
I'm not sure about that, because we'd need to have them made. That could cost a lot. How about writing something on the computer instead? Do you agree?
That's a good idea. Our teacher could check it, and then we can print it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, but what if everyone takes them home and then forgets to give them to their parents?
Oh, you're right. Okay, let's ask our teacher if she'll send out emails to parents.
Yes, and we can also put a few notices around school.
Test 2. Speaking Part 2. Exam practice.
Let's talk about how we can make some posters for the youth club party. We'll need some big pieces of paper, won't we?
That's a good idea. And what if we take some photos of the club and some of the people here?
Mm-hmm.
We could print them out on the computer and then stick them onto the posters.
That's a great idea. And we could use the colored crayons to write the time and the place.
I'm not so sure about that.
Hmm?
They might not look very good. Why don't we print out something on the computer? We could cut them out and stick them onto the poster.
Yes, great. But I don't think we can really use the magazines. I don't think pictures from them will look very good. Do you agree?
I think you're right. Okay, I'm sure we'll get lots of people to come to the youth club party this way.
Absolutely.
Test 2. Speaking Part 3. Training. Photo A.
I can see lots of young people. I think they're mainly boys. They look as if they're going on a run. They're on a sports field. They're all wearing sports clothes. Some have got shorts and some are wearing trousers. And they've all got numbers on their t-shirts. So I think they're taking part in a competition. In the background, I can see some trees with some buildings behind them and some people standing in a group. Maybe they've come to watch the runners. It's not a nice day. It's not raining, but it doesn't look sunny and hot either. But maybe that's better weather for running. You can see it's summer, though. There are leaves on all the trees.
Photo B.
I can see two girls at an indoor ice rink. They look as if they're friends. They're both wearing ice skates and warm clothes, trousers and jackets. They've both got striped t-shirts and one's wearing a scarf and hat, so it must be cold there. I think they've both got gloves too. The smaller girl on the right looks as if she might fall over in a minute. I don't think they're skating very fast. They're probably just chatting as they go around the rink next to each other. In the background, I can see other people on the ice too. It looks a bit crowded.
Test 2. Speaking Part 3. Exam practice. Photo A.
I can see some teenagers on a sports field playing a sport. Hockey. In the middle of the picture, there's a boy and a girl holding hockey sticks. They're both trying to get to the ball. Behind them, there are two boys running after them, both holding hockey sticks too. They must be playing at school. They've got school sports clothes on, all in blue. I don't think it's very warm though. They're both wearing thick tops. It's sunny though. I can see their shadows on the ground.
Photo B.
This is the picture of someone playing golf. He's on the golf course, but I can't see anyone else around. He's nearly sitting on the ground and looking very carefully at the golf ball. The hole is not very far away. It's got a flag in it, and I guess he doesn't want to miss when he tries to hit the ball into the hole. He's wearing an orange t-shirt and white shorts, so I think it must be warm weather. The sun's shining and the golf course looks very green. I can see trees in the background and a bit of blue sky. It looks very peaceful.
Test 2. Speaking Part 4. Exam practice.
1. Do you prefer watching sport or taking part? 2. Which sporting events do you enjoy watching? What about your family? 3. Do you prefer to be part of a team, like in football, or do solo sports like skateboarding? 4. What else do you do to try to stay fit and healthy?